Welcome back to Ben Rants, and when I was a kid, copying people was shamed upon. There are a lot of times where I don't understand certain popularities. I never understand why something so bad can be so popular, and that's the case with the subject of today's rant, the ever-popular animated sitcom Family Guy. For a long time, I've had a long grudge with this show, and I feel now's the time to address it. Keep in mind though, I know this is a very popular show, and I know a lot of my close friends love this show, so even though I'm ranting on this show, I have nothing against you if you like it. To each his own. So, get ready to be surprised. Here's my rant on Family Guy. Before I rant on this show, let me tell you something. I used to love this show. That's right. I got into this show when it first appeared on Adult Swim, and I was obsessed with it. I bought the DVDs and watched every episode constantly, and I never got tired of it. Episodes came on, I started to watch them for a while, and then as I got older, I started to realize that I was starting to be less and less interested in this show. I got tired of hearing the same jokes, getting really offended, and annoyed at all the flashback jokes. So, I stopped watching it, sold all my DVDs, and have since started hating this show. Now, with that out of the way, let's get into why I hate it. Well, for starters, there's its cliched premise. We have an animated dysfunctional family that goes through several misadventures. Yes, this is a copy of The Simpsons. However, I'm willing to understand that some basic ideas do get copied a lot, and some shows aren't always going to be 100% original. But that's not what ticks me off about this. He's a big fat guy who has an annoying voice and an annoying laugh, and he's a self-centered idiot. Then there's Lois, a weird wife who kinda acts like some kind of weird sex symbol, as well as a witch. Now, on to the kids. There's Chris, who's an angry teenager who's just as dumb, if not dumber than his father. Character in this show, who's always the center of abuse or neglect from her family and peers. Next, there's Stewie, a homosexual stereotype who acts like the biggest wuss you could ever meet. Then finally, there's Brian, a left-wing nut-job dog who never shuts up. Bunch of characters we have, don't we? Wow, all of these characters are really unlikable. I honestly don't see any redeeming quality in them, except for Meg, but she's just there to be a whipping mule. However, you know what sucks about this? These characters didn't always used to be like this. Peter used to actually be caring of his family, and he wasn't as brain dead as he is now. Also, Lois used to be a caring mother and not a sex symbol wannabe. Chris used to be just an average teenage boy. Meg still didn't do anything. Stewie used to be an evil baby trying to kill his mother. And Brian used to be a dog that had no sign of being politically informed. Wow, now these sound like more likable characters. Why the heck the change? Since the show was revived, these characters have had a total make-under. This show had the Looney Tunes show formula done on them. This show also is home to several other annoying characters. There's Quagmire, who's a sex maniac who never stops going giddy 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 giddy, and it gets really freaking irritating. Then there's Herbert, an old pedophile who's not really funny, just creepy. And there's Greased Up Deaf Guy. Just why? Anyway, there are several more annoying characters we could go over, but I don't want to because I have a migraine enough as it is. This is supposed to be a comedy show, but it really goes the lowest on the comedy ladder to try and get a laugh. There's racist jokes, sexist jokes, fart jokes, stupid jokes, celebrity jokes, chicken jokes, rock jokes, sync jokes, Star Wars jokes, and several other stupid jokes that just make me want to facepalm until I give myself a nosebleed. One of the biggest ways this show executes jokes is by the use of flashbacks. These flashbacks have nothing to do with the plot, nor do they even make any sense. They just appear and disappear, and I wonder why they were supposed to be funny. Some of the biggest examples where I go, huh? What? When I'm watching this show is one joke I remember where one character said he's more stubborn than a mule, and then it showed a guy talking to a mule, and the mule just kept hee-hawing. What the heck was that about? How was that supposed to be funny? What the flub kind of humor is this show going for? Anyway, another flashback joke involved a parody of some butter commercial where it shows two hands and a woman hand hogging the butter, and the male hand proceeds to stab the woman hand. Gee Manitli! Gruesome much? Is that your idea of dark comedy? Wasn't. Dark comedy is supposed to be done in a funny way, not in a stabbing till somebody's bleeding way. Man, this show is messed up. Well, I think the main problem with this show is that it makes fun of a lot of modern pop culture. Well, I believe that's one of the worst ways to make a cartoon. If you want your cartoon to be successful for years to come, you contain stuff that people many years from now are going to understand. You make it timeless. People aren't going to understand a parody of certain commercials many years from now. Heck, I don't even understand it now! Lots of jokes from old radio shows, but it's done in a way where a person now can laugh at it even though they don't understand where the joke is coming from. But we've only scratched the surface here. Family Guy isn't only good at making bad dated jokes. Oh no, they are also good at stealing other people's jokes. Yeah, that's right. They need other people's material to be funny, and this is what really ticks me off about this show. I'm against using other people's characters to make a laugh unless it's supposed to be a sketch show or a Mad magazine. You shouldn't need other people's characters to get a cheap laugh. You have your own characters. Use them! But let me give examples as to why this ticks me off. I like it when this show references them. Well, I don't! You know why? They portray them in a negative light. Some examples I could think of is when it flashed back to Walt Disney asking Mickey Mouse to take her top off. Really? That's not funny. That's just sick. But, oh, we're not done. Then it flashed back to Peter stabbing Yogi Bear right in front of Boo Boo. Wow, still gruesome, huh? But no. The biggest one that really ticked me off was when it showed Elmer Fudd shooting Bugs Bunny several times and finally cracking his neck. That's it! How dare you do that? How dare you take characters that we've loved since childhood and just spit right in their faces just to try to get a cheap laugh? And I know some of you might say, "Oh, Ben, relax, it's just a joke." A joke? That's the show's idea of a freaking joke? Bugs being shot and his neck being cracked? Joke! All I see is a character I love being killed very brutally right before my eyes. That's not funny. That's just not funny. Screw you, Family Guy. Screw you. And beyond all that, several characters from popular media appear out of nowhere in this show. Okay, I know you're a cartoon, but you're a cartoon about a family living in Rhode Island. This isn't Who Framed Roger Rabbit where all these cartoon characters can walk around nonchalantly. You know, it just doesn't work like that. Not featuring jokes that make no sense. They're dropping more fart and sexual jokes than I've ever seen from anything in this modern age. It seems that every character in this show has either farted or made a sexual slur at least once in the series. An example I can think of is when Peter had a flashback to where he had a fart contest with Michael Moore, or when he said what would happen if they replaced the fart noise with the burp noise, and vice versa. Yeah, because the noises my body makes is hilarious! Seriously, how old do you think I am? I'm 18 years old. I don't think this kind of crap is funny. I mean, I can see me being 12 years old and thinking this crap is funny, but I'm not 12 years old anymore. Fart jokes and sex jokes aren't funny. If somebody can successfully explain to me how these jokes are funny, then I'll personally bend down and kiss your feet. And I don't plan on getting my mouth dirty. But another main thing that ticks me off about this show is that it's a big Simpsons ripoff. I know several people have said this time and time again, but it's true. Not calling this a Simpsons ripoff would be like not calling the Smurfs movie an insult to the Smurfs. I don't even think this show would be successful if it wasn't for the Simpsons. So you think this show should at least show some respect, right? Wrong! respond to it. In a Trios of Horror where Homer gets a hammock that clones himself, Peter Griffin is seen as one of the clones of Homer Simpson. Hey, that's very clever. Peter Griffin is a clone of Homer? That's great. So, how does Family Guy respond? Quagmire rapes Marge and kills every single member of the Simpsons family. That's right, he even kills little Maggie Simpson. And killing her whole family. Yeah, that's funny. Wow, that just proves how low the show is when it can't even do a comeback joke in a tasteful manner. Way to go, Family Guy writers. Where did you get your writing degree? A box of Cracker Jacks? So, Family Guy is a comedy show that doesn't even know the definition of the word. Meet Seth MacFarlane. He is the one responsible for this show, so when this show becomes a success, he makes another show around the same time, American Dad. This show is too political, and I don't watch cartoons for political lessons. And so, due to the success of both of his shows, he makes a third one, The Cleveland Show. This is just Family Guy, but with African American characters. Oh, and by the way, this show also sucks. But, what's the problem with all this? All these shows are being made at the exact same time! Are you kidding me? Seth MacFarlane has the nerve to make 3 shows at the same time? How disrespectful is that to other animators who want to make animated shows? Are the Simpsons and Bob's Burgers. Yep, they canceled King of the Hill to make room for the Cleveland Show. That just ticks me off. I mean, sure, some people could consider it talented to be working on 3 shows at the same time, but I don't respect that. That just shows how money-grabbing you are, as well as selfish. At this rate, all the animated shows that air on Fox might be run by MacFarlane. I don't see what's stopping him. He's also the developer on the upcoming Flintstones reboot. Oh, so help me God, I'm going to get so mad that I'll burst into flames and then explode. And explode again! Now, don't get me wrong. Although Seth MacFarlane may be a self-centered jerk, he actually used to have talent. Before he made Family Guy, he worked at Hanna-Barbera working on several Hanna-Barbera cartoons in the 90s, such as Cow and Chicken and Johnny Bravo. He was then able to make his own cartoon on the What a Cartoon show called Larry and Steve. And I actually think that it's a pretty good cartoon. The animation is good, the timing is perfect, and the jokes are actually funny. Show. Why they didn't go with this, I have no idea. It's stiff and there's not much movement, and it feels like it's being animated by 10-year-olds. It's just hard to look at it. Anyway, Family Guy is a popular animated sitcom that is badly animated, the characters aren't likable, it insults other cartoons, it lacks originality, it's being run by a conceited hack, and its humor is bottom of the barrel. I don't know why this show is so popular, but then again, that's just me. If you love this show, then good. Nothing against you. It's just not my thing. And I don't like to associate this with other cartoons. And I just don't think this show is funny. So, to wrap this video up, I'm going to list several TV shows and movies that I think are funny instead of continuing to blast this show. The Simpsons. Funny. Monty Python. Funny. My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. Surprisingly funny. Cheech and Chong. Came out of nowhere, but funny. Beavis and Butthead. Raunchy, but funny. Seinfeld. Funny. Laurel and Hardy. Funny. Eddie Murphy. Back when he was funny. Funny. Jim Carrey when he wasn't making kids movies. Funny. And there you go. Anyway, I'm Ben, and I'm signing out. I'm gonna go hug my Bugs Bunny plushie.